Hi, my name is Bonnie Perry, and this is my baseball story. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan in the 1950s, and I was a Detroit Tigers fan. My dad only had girls. There were 3 girls, and I was the middle girl. And for some reason, I was the one that took a liking to baseball. And my dad and I would go to Briggs Stadium, as it was called then, in downtown Detroit, and we'd watch the Tiger games. And there was a contest in the Detroit Free Press, which was the local newspaper in Detroit. And it was guessing how many runs, hits, and errors a player was going to get in a game. And I, being a kind of organized record-keeping sort, would go to the games with my dad and keep track of everything. And then each week I'd make my best guess and I'd submit my entry. And usually I did pretty well. And I would win 2 box seat tickets to Tiger games. And I'd, of course, take my dad. So we went and saw a lot of games from box seats and also from the bleachers when we bought our tickets. In those years, in the 50s, when I was a Tigers fan, some of the players that I used to enjoy watching were Al Kaline and Charlie Maxwell, Norm Cash, Harvey Keene. Jim Bunning was one of the pitchers at that time. It was a great time. And when I couldn't go in person, I'd listen on the radio. And the announcers then was George Kell and Ernie Harwell. And I loved listening to the games. I never wanted to miss any game. Either I'd see it in person or I'd listen to it. Well, when school would start again in the fall, I was going to miss some of the afternoon games. So I had the idea, if I could get a transistor radio and take it to school with me, on my way home I could listen to the games, at least part of it. So I started saving for a transistor radio. And in those days, there was nothing like an iPod or iPad or MP3 players. A transistor radio was like about this big. So I started saving, and my mother let me collect her S&H green stamps. So there's something from the 50s. And I used to go to the supermarket with her and get her S&H green stamps. And finally, I had, I think it was like 10 books. And my dad took me to the Redemption Center, and I got my transistor radio. It was red and white. And it was heavy, but I'd carry it to school with me, and in those days I walked, and I'd carry it, I guess I was about 1.5 miles from my high school. I'd carry it there, and on my way home I'd listen to the games, and I just enjoyed it so much. And in the early 70s I moved to Philadelphia. After college, got a job here, and sadly my father died in 1976, and that's kind of when my interest in following the Tigers faded. But deep in my heart, I'm still a Tigers fan.